had a little argument, not a big argument or anything. It was literally a little argument with a writer I like. His name's Brian Hill. Did a excellent run on the Outsiders. He's always been very level-headed, and he came out and basically called all Republicans Nazis and KKK, I believe it was. Would like to give the benefit of the doubt and think it was an in the moment kind of thing. This is not something he was thinking about and said, you know what? After thinking about everything, I've come to the conclusion that everybody who doesn't think like me supports the KKK. I hope it's just a thing. I forgot where this was going, so I'm just going to meander a little bit and talk a little bit more until I try to come back on the track. Let's see. I was supposed to have an interview with him. As a matter of fact, what the started me talking about this?
Well, while you're trying to circle back to that point, Jen, what he actually said was, the Republicans want to abolish, and then he named every initial agency and said, but I'm sure they're all fine with the KKK.
Fine with the KKK. That was it. Yeah.
Now, then he said, I'm fine with people who think differently than me. But then he said that right after he basically said, I'm sure we're all fine with the KKK. Now, I don't know why he said that. I said, I've never known him to be that way, but I don't know him. And my point is, why is it okay for people on the left to broad brush people on the right with impunity? But God help you if you said, well, I guess that means I'm sure that all Democrats are fine with pedophilia. That'd be the last time you heard me on social media if I tweeted that.
If you really pay attention, they started blocking that the very moment Biden's kid came out and called his own father pedo. That's when they really started blocking. I kid you not. Check the dates, dude. I don't know where my mind was going right now. Sometimes it happens. This is the mental equivalent of going into a room and then forgetting why you went into that room.
You're right. Jeff Bridges is much better on the segue.
Watch Iron Man again, kids. If you didn't notice it, nobody can make a segue look cool except for Jeff freaking Bridges.
I don't know. The dude that voices Batman, the Lego movies, he used to ride one on Arrested Development all the time.
That's right. He did. Will Arnett.
Thank you. God, I couldn't think of his name.
I'm not going to seriously put Will Arnett in the same level of cool as Jeff Bridges.
I don't know. I don't know. He was pretty cool.
Will Arnett. Hey, Will Arnett at his age was probably as cool as Jeff Bridges was at that age. Jeff Bridges just got cooler as he got older.
I'll tell you what. I did put out a tweet today I feel very proud of, which is I followed Jim Steranko, which I tell you everybody should.
Yeah,
this guy's pretty badass.
I do.
But awesome. he put out a tweet and he's basically he was going off on the whole 87,000 IRS agents and everything. And I put out a tweet and it was just a story I heard and I just kind of compared it to Jim Steranko. And that is, it's a story about Jack Nicholson where he was at a nightclub one night and a girl walks up to him and says, want to dance? And he looks at her and goes, wrong verb. And I just like, oh, that is so fucking hot. All righty. And I said, the only other person I know that carries that kind of cool vibe is Jim Steranko, man. You got to give it up to him. You got to give it up to him. Brian Hill was a no-show. He's got an open invitation. When he comes in, I would prefer, in all honesty, to talk about what he's going to do on Black Panther, whatever comic books maybe inspired him. I want to talk geek stuff. I like doing that with comic book writers and artists.
Yeah. Nobody's going to change each other's mind talking about the incident that led to that. The only way you change somebody's mind is through a lot of problems get solved when people come face to face. Yeah. And they realize they've got a lot more in common than they don't.
100%.
And yeah, if you have him on and we just talk comics, he may not, I'm sure we're not going to change his voting patterns, but he might realize, hey, those other guys aren't what I thought.
Maybe they're not really the bad guys from World War II.
And then as soon as he's feeling okay, I'll start a game of comic book Jeopardy. And it'll be, Maranya saying the reason why I like Obadiah Stane, or at least Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stane, is that one, he's bald. Let's face it, the best of us are. His name is Bridges, and it reminds me of my other work. So yes,
Zach. I don't know about you, but I can't concede that point to the old man there on the bald issue.
My dad's bald, so I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place here. It's like on the one hand, on the other hand,
Yeah, but that lettuce you're sporting isn't receding anytime soon.
That's true. Oh, I got my mom's dad's hair, and he died with a full head of hair. So thankfully, this seems to be here to stay.
I do have something to confess. I was going to bring this up when we were talking about Batman and how I think I'm done with DC. I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to read DC. But then I realized something. I'm done with all comics. Not all comics. That's going a little bit too far. But do you know the last few comics I've read, except for a couple of handful, like Florida Man? I read that.
Was one of them Stray Dogs?
No, it wasn't Stray Dogs. I bought this, but haven't read it yet. But I bought it mostly for the cover.
The cover is nice.
Well, I've got this, and I was going to redo the shelves behind me. Oh, well, hold on. That just don't look good. I got this, and as you can see, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great skeleton. Oh, okay, there it is. Okay.
There we go.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Going to put it on the shelves. I'm going to hang up some other shelves right here. And I figured if you notice that the statues and everything, I've got corresponding comics on a lot of them. There's a blank spot next to Rocketeer because I actually took down the first appearance since he doesn't appear on it. And I found the first issue of the Rocketeer Adventure Magazine by Dave Stevens.
I like that.
So yeah, I was going to hang that up. I'm going to hang that up next to it. But I haven't read it. I mean, I am reading comic books, that for sure. But like recently, the comics I've read, I read Batman: Lonely Place of Dying because I've had the first appearance of Tim Drake a couple times in the auction. I reread Dan Abnett's run of Aquaman. Highly recommend it. And like right now, I'm reading year 1 of Green Arrow. Good. It reminds me of the TV show, so I assume this is where they drag the TV show. Oh, and also I've been reading this big bastard.
Oh, wow.
This is the omnibus of the Marvel Universe book, the official handbook of the Marvel Universe.
Sheesh.
Yeah, this is a big bastard of a book.
Graduate text.
I
But
know.
the thing is when I bought this book of a book here, Eric says, I can't ever see finishing that. I can't ever see it. And I was like, you know what? I shall.
Challenge accepted.
That's exactly it. Challenge accepted. And so I started. I got to Andrea and Angar, or Andromeda and Angar the Screamer. And it occurred to me, these would make excellent short videos. I've got to start doing that because that would make, hey, look, here's the official handbook entry of so-and-so and so-and-so.
So let me ask you, are you reading Fables?
No, I'm not reading. Oh, I read the first 11 issues of the original because I'm trying to get caught up so I can actually read the rest.
You didn't read it all the way through originally, or?
No, I realized I didn't. Because I never read the superhero saga. I think I made it past the one where they met the writer. I remember the writer, but beyond that,
because obviously I'm I got a head start on you as far as like giving up new comics, but yeah, I did read World's Finest. Then Mark Waid went all Mark Waid again, and they're integrating it. No, but they're also taking that storyline and moving it into the present, and that kind of I have no interest in DC present. All the other crap they're doing, and like I said, the telling the fans of the 80s and 90s that they were every ist and phobe in the book, and because I've been saying for years they don't want us reading their stuff, and at some point you listen. But Fables, I know Bill Willingham is not like them. I also know it is not in the top 200 in sales.
Oh wow!
But then again, neither is any Aquaman title, and I think half of the Wonder Woman titles are under 200.
Well, aren't there only two Wonder Woman?
No, the regular Wonder Woman is well into the ones. I think Nubia's in the 2s, and I don't know if it, like the trial, the Amazon, where the hell, their sales are just brutal.
Well, they have literally been pushing us away. We are the loyal. They're stupid for doing it because we are the loyal buyers. We were trained that if we bought Moon Knight 1 through 10, and oh my gosh, I missed number 8, we will hunt that number 8 down.
Right.
And we will make sure that we get all of the issues. We are trained to be loyal to our characters.
Right.
They fucked up because they are going after an audience that, let's face it, don't buy comics.
That's true.
Not in any kind of mass way.
And also, they may be 55% of the DC universe, but they're less than 5% of the real world.
Less than 0.5%.
Even so, that's assuming that everybody that's gay reads comics. We know that's not true. So they are going after a tiny sect of a tiny sect to the exclusion of everybody else.
Yep.
And telling anybody else that doesn't, that they're the problem, while they're actively trying to chase them away. So they can't be surprised by this, but I don't know if it's going to matter. Now, Perch would tell me I'm an idiot when I say these people are actively chasing sales away. I think they are.
I do too.
They flat out. You can't keep doing this if you care about your sales.
The problem is they should have, if you want to write those characters, but create those characters.
Right. And then don't complain.
They should have tried their best to keep us as they cultivate this new audience. And unfortunately they didn't. Don't get rid of Iron Man because you created Ironheart.
Right.
Have Ironheart as her own character.
Right.
While Iron Man is still up there doing well and kicking.
I'm glad you. So this past week I was vacationing. I was with my sister-in-law, who does not vote the same way I do. She leans a little more in the opposite direction. But we talked about Marvel. She is not impressed at all with the latest batch of Marvel movies. She watches the movies. She in the show. She doesn't read the comics. Yeah. And so she's asking me these questions. Okay, like who's America Chavez? Who's Ironheart? It's like, oh, Ironheart's this character they created in the comics to replace Tony Stark when he was in a coma. She's like, well, why did they do that? It's like they wanted to pander. Iron Man wasn't available, but they had to have somebody flying a suit around. And so I don't even know if it's that big of a seller, even with people that they think should want to buy those comics.
It might not.
Think about what he said 10 minutes ago. Yeah, they don't buy comics.
Yeah, exactly.
They love to talk about buying or talk about the comics. They love to bitch about the comics.
Yep.
But they do not put their money where their mouth is.
Yep.
Because they don't have that money.
Right. Well, yeah, that too. All they do is they watch the shows and the movies. So